Good evening to everyone. I Neodev Ghosh, Peace House Vice Captain.
And I, Vidan Ryan, Unity House Vice Captain.
Welcome you all to the digital platform of BHIS Council Chronicles.
BHIS has always been innovative with respect to its extracurricular activities.
BHIS Chronicles, time and again, has been making lovely endeavors to open the arena of widespread knowledge through the vast spectrum of speakers from different fields.
BHIS Student Council takes the initiative with an enterprising and informative session with Ms. Palak Gupta.
Ms. Palak Gupta is an alumni of Batch 2020. She's a dancer, feminist, orator, gardener, and sketcher. She is pursuing her bachelor's in economic honors from Delhi University. She is a certified Bharatnatyam Kalanidhi dancer. She has received 38th rank in CTF Commerce Olympiad 2019.
We would like to welcome our guest speaker for the day, Ms. Palak Gupta, who will throw light on depression, the new age cancer.
Not wasting much time, let's ask our guest speaker to talk magniloquently on this topic, which will lead us to give approbation for her magnificent work.
Thank you very much and for such a kind introduction, and good afternoon everyone who are present here today in this session. I feel extremely honorable and hopeful that you all will like this session, and please be kind to me because this is my first time I'm doing such a thing. So the firstly I would like to say that just do not take this session anything personally, because I know depression is a topic which is very sensitive to some people. We just get very um, sensitive or attached to something like this, and depression is something which has gained wide publicity last year due to many reasons we all know, and the main was of course the pandemic. So there were many reasons for me to pick this topic for today's session, and the main reason being was that I went through depression myself last year. It's not easy to open up about all this stuff to others, and especially your closed ones, because you cannot just randomly talk to them about this. It is not easy. It just doesn't comes out. You need a lot of courage, a lot of strength to go through something like this on a daily basis, and then face it, and get over with also, because you cannot keep on going with this. It is frustrating. It just tears you up. So well, the reason I took depression is, as I said, I went through it myself. So I thought that it would be very helpful if I shared my journey, my experience with all of you, because you are all my age, and I know how it feels to go through those experiences, those feelings, those you know those you know just I know how it feels, and I've been through that. And so I know you all can very well relate to me with whatever I'm going to speak today on this session. So let's start. And okay, so depression, the new age cancer. Now depression is something which we are all very well aware of. You all must have heard, because it's a very it's a word which has a lot of hype, you know so you all must be knowing about it. So but I compare depression with cancer, because depression and cancer both are chronic diseases. A chronic disease is something which prolongs for more than a year. That is chronic disease. Opposite of it is acute disease. So depression is a chronic disease. Many of us must not be knowing this, and myself, I got to know it like few months back myself. It is something like this also. I used to think it in just terms ki, it's depression, it's something related to your mood swings and not feeling well. It will just go away in some time. Do not take it seriously, it's all fine. But it's not. You need to be serious, and you need to feel its importance in your life, because it gives you that experience to feel yourself all over again. So depression, it's a chronic disease, and so is cancer. But I compare depression with cancer because, I may be wrong, but nowadays when we talk about that he or she has cancer, or is, has been diagnosed of, you know by cancer, so we of course we feel shocked, we feel nervous, and we feel anxious about it, because it's not something which is very easy to go through with. But when we hear about depression, that, he or she is facing depression, and, stuff like that, so we take it very lightly. We, it's like it has two reactions. First, when you talk about depression to one set of group, it is a topic to laugh upon for them. Depression, what is depression? It's nothing. Just forget it. There's no such word. It's all in social media and stuff just to gain popularity. There's no such word. And the second set of people, they take it very seriously. They they start panicking more than when you tell them that you're facing cancer, because they somehow feel here cancer, so it's curable. There's a huge um, upgrade in medical science, so it can be curable. But depression, how is depression cured? We've never heard of depression being cured, and we don't know if there are any medicines or any doctors which can help you. And even for that matter of fact, when you tell them that you're going for a therapy, so they think you're mad. Why are you going for a therapy? I mean, who goes for a therapy? But it is pretty common, but people don't understand that. For that matter, for saying so, even when I was going through this, when I was going through depression, so it's pretty obvious that when you go through any problem in your life, you share it with your family. I shared it too with my family. Well, I discovered it very late in my case, but I still shared it with my family. So when I told them, so they were literally laughing at me. They were like, you don't have any other work, and you have started thinking that you're facing depression. Just get yourself some work and you will be all relaxed. ऐसा कुछ नहीं होता है. Just chill. All the stuff is just for actor actresses. It's not for us. So just stop thinking about all this. And for that matter, I felt like, okay, I was taken aback. Like, how can that happen? My parents are so educated, and if they are talking something like this to me about my depression, about their own daughter going through such a thing, then how can I be sure that, later on, when somebody, maybe my age only, is going through this, how will they ever face their family? How will they ever tell them that I am going through depression? I mean, it has become so difficult for us to even say this. So then how are we going to deal with it? Because it is as fatal as cancer. Both are highly insidious diseases, but still we forget about it time and time. Cancer invades your body, but depression, it invades your psyche. It just ruins you from inside. We all have a conscious in us. We all are human beings after all. But when your conscious is hampered, when your inner thinking is hampered, is not working, it's not functional, then you cannot even work physically well. You will feel that void in you. You cannot even, even when you're perfectly healthy, you have no problem going inside your body, all your organs are just working fine. But your inner conscious, when your inner thinking, your thoughts, they are negative, they are, filled with negative vibes, you cannot function well. You just cannot. You'll immediately feel sick from inside, even after having a perfectly functional body. This is what depression does. It destroys you from within. It dismantles you. It makes you feel as if you are a lost cause. nothing can happen to you. But that is what is wrong. That is what we have to prove, that it is not true. Depression, we can deal with it. It is something which we have to take courage, of course. You cannot do anything without courage. Even going through a, a chemo is very courageous. It's a very, important decision. So, but going through depression is equally important, because, each of us, all of us need time for ourselves. You just can't keep working and working and working. You need time for yourself. You need to give your body that time, that energy, that uh, calmness. But how will you give it if you're not having any inner thoughts, if you're not processing well? How will you give that time to your body? Because it is a fact, well known, that you cannot pour from an empty cup. You need something in it to pour. So if you need to process, if you need to give time to your body, so you need to have that that feeling inside you that you can process, you can manage things. But if you don't have that, then how will you do it? It is impossible. So it is very important for us to feel that we can, we have to. After all, this is also a part of our body. You know, depression, we all say that whenever we come across this word depression, so we all say it's a mental illness. Well, it's true, it's a mental illness, but it is partially also something else. Depression is a mental disorder, yes, but it is just not caused by your hampering of your mental health. It is related to a lot of other reasons. So we'll come to that later. So now, since we're talking about depression, and I said that I went through the same last year. Well, last year was not something very different for any one of us. It was a pretty tough year for all of us. The pandemic has still not gone though, but this year is hopefully it will be much better than the last year. So many of you who do not know that I gave my 12th board last year, and my boards were just about to finish in March, but one of my papers was left, and I had to give it. Um, but lockdown was announced, and my last paper was left, so I had to prepare for it. Now, you have this nagging feeling constantly that whenever you give your papers, so you feel that key, maybe I did good, maybe I did that bad, or you have that constant feeling going on inside you. You keep thinking about your previous papers, and you cannot concentrate on the present one, because you feel ki, okay, I can study this right now, but what about the ones that I've already given? How are they? Have I given well? Will I receive good marks? Or you have that feeling. And since it was my 12th board, so it was just double. So when my last paper was left, so I was preparing for it, and simultaneously I got to know that the colleges have started taking online tests for admission. Some of them, they're not giving admission on the basis of your grades, 12th marks. So when I was studying for my BST paper, so I gave 2 of my college exams also with it. But I had that, I don't know, it is wrong. It is definitely wrong. I had that thing in me that, why shall I prepare for my college exams? I've been studying for the past 2 years so hard. I mean, I've been working so hard for the past 2 years, and I've been studying that same thing over and over. So I know it. Why should I study? I had that overconfidence in me. I can easily crack it. I can just do it. I don't need to study. I don't need to prepare something extra. It is all fine. So I did not give that much time. It was needed for them. So I gave it. Then after a month, it was announced that the papers are cancelled and we're getting average marks. So I was okay with that also. But then again, as I said, I started having that feeling again, that it just haunted me. How now I cannot give my last paper. So I'm just dependent on the ones that I've given. So I hope they're good. But you constantly have that feeling, you try to pacify yourself, you try to make yourself feel better, soothe yourself, but that doesn't just work. It is not how you process. It just does not happen like that. So, but I tried to calm myself. So then in in May, my board results came, and as any usual 12th grade student, I was not satisfied with it. I had this feeling, no, I could have got better marks, and this is not something that I should receive. I worked so hard last year. I gave up everything for just studies, and how can I receive these marks? So I had that feeling, but of course, you should not in the first place. You should be contented with whatever you receive. But somewhere around that time, when I started complaining, when I started, being fussy about each and everything in my life, I somehow realized, now I'm realizing that I should have not done that. I missed many important moments of my life, ruining silly things which were not even important. And somewhere, to be very honest, I knew at that moment also that this is not correct. But again, when your inner conscious is hampered, it's not working, you just don't listen to your own self only. You just mess things up. And that is what I did. So um, my board results came, and then my results came in for the exams I gave for the college admission, and I was rejected by two colleges. Just to I was rejected by two colleges also. So it just piled up. It just fueled more and more. Now I was out of control. First I was not satisfied with my marks. Now I got rejected by two colleges. That is the worst that could happen to anyone. I felt like that. And yeah, that is how I felt. And this is how the fueling process started. This is how I just felt more low, and just more. I just went deep down into some place which was not me at all. I used to cry all the time. I used to be moody. I used to not interact with my own family well. I used to feel as if I just want to go somewhere. I just don't want to stay here. I don't want to study. I will quit studying. If this is what if this is what you get when you study for 2 whole years, so so madly, and this is the result that you get, I don't want to study. Why to study? This is what I was thinking all the time. But again, you should not think like that. But again, you are a student, you go through all this stuff, but you have to deal with it. And but the thing that I did wrong here was that I didn't deal with it. I was too weak to deal with it. And the worst thing I did was not to share with my family. I did not share with them anything. I thought that, what will I share with them? That I'm such a failure, that I'm not able to achieve, you know, just these small things. How will I face them? And that is the worst. And that is what I did. And that is what initially started off my depression. So, well, I had this, I had this decision I made 1 year back, that I had to study in DU. I don't want to study anywhere else. I want to do my graduation from DU. And so I thought, how can I study in DU? Is it possible for me to pursue in DU? I mean, I was not sure. I did not have that confidence in me anymore. But my family was somehow, they knew that I can do it. I will do it, and I will get into DU. But I always felt that how? It is not possible for me. So 2-3 months passed by, and then around October end, I got admission in. I got selected for two colleges, so I had to choose from one of them, because my parents were saying that you need to get this security, that you can study at least in one college. ऐसा तो नहीं हो कि मतलब you're nowhere, you left out of everything, you have nothing left in you. So that is what they felt. So they were constantly encouraging me to take admission in one of the colleges. But I, being the fussy one, so I was like, I have to study in DU. How can I take admission in these colleges? And they were pretty good. But yeah, regardless of my disapproval and everything, I took admission in one of the colleges. But I was so psyched up, I could not understand anything. And after just 5 days, I left the college. I I mean, I said I quit. I cannot study. This is not me. I cannot. And I quit. That's what I said. Now that is the lowest. That was the lowest point of my life last year. I it is not very easy to tell all of this to so many people and to share your weakest points of life. But I'm doing this because I want you all to know that this is not how you react. This is not how you face your fears. This is not how, any one of us would want, or our parents would want us to be. I said I quit. And then I had no college left. Though due admissions were left, they did not start at that point of time. So it was not as if, but who knows the future? So even I did not know. So I quit and I had no college left, and my parents were like, what are you gonna do now? So I said that I will study. Of course I'll study, but I just don't want to study anywhere else except for DU. And so that is what happened. Then after 15, 20 days, I got admission in DU, and that was the happiest moment. But as I said, this fear, this constant feeling of feeling not yourself, if you don't deal with it, it will constantly haunt you in your entire lifetime. If you face it once and for all, it will never haunt you. And even if it does, so in future you'll know how to deal with it. So it will never scare you. It will always make you feel prepared to, face something more worse than that. But for me, when I didn't face my fears, getting sad over something you don't have or you cannot get, and then getting that thing doesn't make you leave that fear, that constant, that constant void in your life. That doesn't leave you. It's your baggage which you're carrying. So it is not something that you're rid of. You have to carry it. And the same was with me. I never faced my fears. I did not, accept that I was going through this. So obviously, one day it had to come back to me, and it did. It definitely did. But at that point of time, I realized that I have to grow up. I have to face it. And that's when you actually grow up and evolve. I faced my fears. And the only way to face your fears is two things: acceptance and expression. These are the two things which you need to do in order to face those anxieties, those fears, those constant, haunting of your own thoughts, which are to be embraced, are now starting to haunt you all of a sudden. Why? Why is it happening? It should not in the first place. So the two things that, you should do when you face such things is acceptance and expression. Now, acceptance is to accept, to deal with it, to just, accept that, yes, I am going through this. Yes, I am not thinking with my sane mind right now. I am not, working at my fullest. I am not thinking rationally. I'm having mood swings. I'm not feeling, I just cannot function. That is acceptance. You have to accept, because if you don't accept, then, you're just a lost cause, because you need to accept. That is the first step to deal with it. And please, again, I'm telling you, this is nothing that I'm a certified person to speak upon all this. Just don't, think like that. This is something that I'm telling you from my own experience and journey. So this is something that worked for me, And I really hope it works for all of us, because every all of us face such things in our life once at least. It is pretty common. We are humans. We are tend to face such things. So it's again, I'm saying it's something that I am sharing it from my journey. So just don't think that maybe this is wrong. So just don't think of something like that. This is something from my own journey. So that is what I'm sharing. So it's very important to accept and accept with yourself that there's something which is not good with me. There's something which is wrong. There's something which is constantly making me feel that I'm not myself right now. I'm not working in my full capacity. And then the second thing is expression. Expression, that means to express, to uh, express means to tell your story, to tell whatever you're dealing with, whatever, from be it a year, or even a month, even for a day, even if for a day you're dealing with all this, just tell, just express, just open your mind, express from anyone. If you like to write, just write it down anywhere. If you like to talk to people, just talk to someone who is close to you, or talk to your family for that matter. Just talk to them and tell them that today I'm going through this and I'm not feeling well, and this is something that is making me feel as if I cannot do anything, I am a failure, I am incapable. So just express, because expression is very important. If you don't express, then you just bottle it up inside you, and it just keeps bottling, and until you reach that level of saturation, it will explode and it will lead you to a big mess. So don't let that mess be created in your life. Just deal with it before then. All right. So, expression and acceptance is also not easy for any of us. We need a lot of courage. And I personally, since I'm telling you my story, so I personally also, went through a lot of courage to even tell that to my family. You all must be thinking, that they're your family, your parents. So how difficult can it get to tell them even this? But it gets, trust me. You feel that. How will they feel if I'll tell them that I was going through all of this stuff? And how will they react when you tell all of that to them? But trust me, it's all well at the end. It's a healing process that you go through. Whenever you get hurt or something, so, you're always advised to get yourself all properly treated by the doctor, so that the healing starts as soon as possible, because healing is something which is very important for you um, whenever you get hurt. Now, by hurt, I do not mean physical, even mental. Even when you get hurt
पल्लव
mentally,
को 2 और 3 में पढ़ा है हमने कैंगरू किड्स में
by your thoughts,
बहुत बड़ी डांसर
even by your you know your thoughts, even by that, when you get disturbed, hurt, just heal, because healing is very important, and healing takes place through acceptance and expression. Now, healing is not getting over stuff, it is getting through stuff. When you get over stuff, you tend to forget it, and you feel for just a slight moment of time that it is all well, nothing is wrong, everything will go very nicely. But maybe in future, when you face something very much similar like this, you can get disturbed by something that has happened in past with you. But since in past you chose to go get over stuff, forget stuff, so now it's just coming again, all of it, and starting to haunt you all over again, and make you feel as if, you know just when you get over stuff, even if you feel happy, then somewhere at the back of your mind you'll have that clinging feeling that no, something is not good, something is wrong, and nothing good can happen with me, something will go wrong. But only if you must have gone through stuff, you must have dealt with this stuff. So you wouldn't be facing all this today. You wouldn't be feeling this way today. You would be feeling confident instead, and you would be feeling that, things will go right with me. I have that confidence. And if things will not go right with me, even then, I know how to deal with it. I know how to face it. So this is what happens. So, well, um, okay. So as I said about healing, so now when I talk about healing, so when I said going through stuff and going over stuff, that is something which is very different. Now, when you go through stuff, so that means you are facing your problems, your fears. Now, going through and over stuff, between both of them, going over stuff is very easy, forgetting and moving forward. And generally, when you talk to people, so they tell you to just forget it and move forward. It's a bad memory. It will bother you, and so just forget it. Just move forward. But that's not true, as I said. So it is very important for us to make, a decision in life, whether we want to change or we want to regret for our whole life. Change is very difficult. It doesn't happen very easily. You need a lot of courage, a lot of inner strength to change yourself, to change even your smallest of thought that you're having right now. I wouldn't have spoken about all of this to you if I wouldn't have changed. If I would have regretted, then I would be scared. I would be sitting in some corner and I would be like, I will not share with this thing with anyone, because they'll think of such a loser I am, that I went through this. I'm not even that strong that I can just forget all of it. But no, that is what is wrong. You change. You mend yourself. You make yourself a better person, and a person to face their fears, their anxieties, and their issues with more confidence. It's very easy to blame anyone, or it's very easy to regret, but it is not easy to take a step forward and tell your own mistake, and then to make yourself better by correcting that mistake, by improving it. So it takes a lot of courage. You need a lot of guts for that. We are all, even if today we all blame anyone else, so we are not smart. That we saw his mistake, that is not being smart. We are being coward. We are not able to even uh, say, we are not even able to express what we did wrong. We are blaming others because we as humans, we have this attitude to blame others and to constantly tell them wrong, prove them wrong instead, and correct yourself, because that is what happens. You blame others, so you think you're correcting yourself, but that is wrong. When you blame others, so you are making yourself more worse. You are making yourself more shallow, and that is what is wrong. So it is not something which you should be very proud upon, or something which you should do constantly. It is something which you should not. So I'll give you an example, and I'm pretty sure many of you must have heard it. So if you have two pair of sneakers, and both the pair of sneakers are dirty, are worn off, are ready for you to dispose and just throw it off. So, but there is one pair of sneakers which is something which you're not really attached to. You don't have any memories attached to it, and since it's worn out, it's it's dirty, so you can easily throw it away. Then there is a second pair of sneakers which is dirty. It's worn off, but you are attached to it. You have feelings attached to it. You have your memories attached to it. So it's pretty obvious. I'll not ask, but it is pretty obvious that you will have a lot of second thoughts in giving away the second pair of sneakers as compared to the first pair of sneakers. You know, your second pair of sneakers, even it has so many memories, you have so many memories attached to it, you are so connected to it, but you will not throw it off. You'll think that, whatever, even if takes my new pair of sneakers place, but I'll keep it. I'll not throw it away. It has my memories. But you know, it is often said that to make place for new things, you need to get rid of old things. But what I think is, it's correct. Obviously, you need to make place for the new ones. But I feel if you want to let new things enter your life, if you want to let, you know, new energy enter your life, so it is not necessary that you need to get that old energy out of your system. It is not necessary. You can embrace both of them equally well in your system than throwing away the one which is not, which is old, which is negative, because somewhere around, both of them are important for you to function well. You need the old one because you draw experiences from that. You gain strength from actually them, not the ones which are new. New experiences are something which keep on coming in our life. That is what is life. Your journey goes forward, you gain new experiences, and that's how is life. But the old ones are also important because they exactly tell you how to deal with even the smallest discrepancies of your life. It gives you strength. It frames you. It actually channelizes you who you are actually as a human being. It tells you, it defines you as a human being. Now, for if I take my example, I wouldn't be sitting here today if I wasn't me. I wouldn't, uh, I probably wouldn't be chosen by the school to speak to you people if I wasn't me myself, because I am myself from my experiences, from whatever I faced through all this, and now that I'm sharing it with you all after facing them with courage and strength and integrity. So that is who a that is what a human being should be like. You should not be defined by terms. Defining by terms yourself is not, you don't make boundaries that I'll just limit myself to being good, being respectful. All this is necessary, but even if you go low, even if you even if you lose it once or twice in your life, it is correct. It is okay to lose it, because when you lose it, then you actually understand that what have you lost, and then you work harder to gain it. And that is what has happened with me. I felt that I was a loser, I was a complete failure, but that is how now I stood up, and now I'm speaking to all of you about it, because I lost myself. I made myself feel all, uh, a failure, a person who is not capable of doing anything, and who should not even exist in this world. I thought this, but when I overcome, when I overcame with it, and when I faced it, I started to believe that even I can. When others can, why not me? Even I can improve myself. Even I can make myself feel as if I have that in me to, to change, to evolve, to become someone better. And for that, you need to have a holistic approach. If you do not have a holistic approach, you cannot ever do that. And by holistic approach, I mean you need to be aware. You need to be aware of each and every, you know, things, instances, and your experiences that are going on. You need to be aware of them, because then only you can think that how are you supposed to face it? How are you supposed to move forward with it? If you do not have a holistic approach, you can never look into the root cause of the problem. You will always think of something which is not that important, and you'll think, maybe that was because I was not I was not um, you know concentrating or something like that. That is why I had this problem, but maybe the problem was actually because of something else, a cause which you're hiding because you're too afraid to face it. And now you feel like that it is all fine, I'll forget it. But no, the root cause of the problem is very important for you to face and to challenge yourself. In future, if you ever um, feel a sense of fear, just always think of it as a challenge, because unless and until you face those challenges, you face your fears, you will never ever have the courage to turn them into actually an opportunity for you. It is actually an opportunity for you. It is a blessing for you that you have gone through such an experience in your life. And now that you've gone through such an experience in your life, that you are um, that you are getting involved in such a better human being, you need to have a holistic approach, because that is how you face it. That is how you you have a wide spectrum to look into the problem, to face it, and to realize that yes, I can change it, just with a little courage and strength and my inner conscious. Because your body, we all I have not read Ayurveda and stuff, but I know this much, that um, generally when we have any sort of problem in our body, so people say that your gut is the main reason of any problem in your body taking place. But it is true. But your inner conscious, your inner thoughts, your thinking, that is also very important, because that also has the capability to make you feel sick in an instant. If you do not have, if you're going through a lot of negative vibes, if you're going through a lot of negative phases in your life, you know, you cannot be happy, you cannot be sane. You will always have that something might be wrong, something might go wrong with me. Maybe not now, maybe not tomorrow, but someday it will. But only if you have that in you, only if you have um, that expression, that acceptance in you, you can go forward in life. You can face it, because ultimately, however low we go in our life, we need support. We need people to cling on to. And these are a few ways through which you can get through it. you know um, Depression, it is very easy to say that it's something related to your mood swings and impairing your daily life and mental disorder. But it's not true. It is related to a lot of things. A lot of things, even going inside, even going in your background, just in your surrounding, not even inside you, even in your surrounding. If you're not surrounded by a positive vibe around you, by a calm and peaceful environment, you face it each and every day. But then how will you ever live your life if you face it each and every day? You just have to go through it. You have to question yourself that, okay, today I'm not feeling good. So what do I need to do? I need to ask myself, why am I not feeling good? Is there something wrong with me? And then if there is something wrong with me, then what is it that is just constantly nagging me and, making me feel, making me feel like this? I need to, process it. I need to evaluate it. and then I need to get into the root cause of the problem that started it after all. And when you get to that, then you realize it that yes, this is what is the problem that I was going through, but this is how I can tackle it. So why not? If you don't tackle your problems, if you don't face them, if you don't feel, if you don't if you don't answer back, then you will always be stuffed inside your inner your inner thoughts, which are filled with negativity, and it will make you feel as if you cannot do anything good in life. But that is not true. For doing even a smallest for doing even this much good in life, you need to have a lot of courage. Because you know doing things accidentally, doing things on purpose well is very difficult, and for that you need to have it in you. So that is what I am exactly trying to say. And see, my depression is just what I'm using as an example to explain to you of how I dealt with it, of how I am dealing with it even now. Depression is not something that just goes away in a flick of second, or after a year of dealing with it, of just telling yourself whatever is going on. No, that is not how depression is dealt with. You have to constantly ask yourself, if I'm feeling good today, if I'm feeling bad today. If you're feeling good today, it's very good. Just be like this. If you're feeling bad today, just confront yourself. Why is it something wrong? What is wrong? Deal with it. Because depression is not something that just goes away by just one interaction of yourself with your inner conscious. It takes a lot of time. Cancer is a chronic disease. We all know that. And cancer is not something which just gets treated you know with just a few chemotherapies. It takes time to get treated. It is not something which just happens like that. So even for that matter, depression also takes time. It takes a lot of time out of your system. It just exhausts you from within. It just leaves you feeling all weak, and um, it just disrupts you. It just makes you feel as if you are not worth it. But each day you have to get up. You have to tell yourself that you are worth it. I can do this, and I have to do this because this is something who I am. Feel thankful that you're alive today. That is the biggest blessing you can ever thank God for. If you are alive, so now just just work upon it. Just work upon to how to make yourself more alive, more sane, more cheerful each and every day. Well, it is all a part of this journey that takes you here. And my journey started uh, obviously with Billabong, because Billabong are my roots. I started studying in Billabong since playgroup, and that is a pretty big deal to study in one school for uh, till 12th, and I did it. And Billabong are my roots, and each and everything I learned about my future. You know, I would never have heard about you. I have internet. It's not as if I don't have internet, but you know searching on internet about a particular thing and getting to know that from your teachers is just different. I got to know about you, my future, my dream from Billabong. I interacted with my teachers. I used to talk to them on daily basis, because learning from books is what you do in school, of course. But those 4 pages do not teach you each and everything about your life, about your future. You have to also be active, you have to interact, you have to constantly take interest in whatever you are doing today in your life. If you do not take interest, if you do not have any hope, you cannot ever rise in your life. You For rising, for being that brilliant person that people can look up to, you have to take interest in your life. Because when you take interest in your life, you get to know a lot more. You get to discover a lot more about yourself than anyone else. So I took interest in my life. I used to constantly ask and ask for guidance, and that's how I got to know about DU, and that's how I built the foundation of my dream. Because graduating from somewhere is obviously, it's not really a big deal. It's what you do in your future, what you become as a person. But for me, when I started my 11th, so I always had this that I have to do something very, something like that in my, something different in my future, that people always remember me. And for that, I knew I had to start from somewhere. And I knew that starting from my dream university was the one thing that I always wanted. And I got it at last. So, just always stay close to your roots. Never be drifted away, from them. Because, uh, you can always do that. But it is at last what you achieve and how you achieve, even from the very first step, is very important. So do not ever get just get over pressured or feel that you are not capable of it. I know each and every one of you will, I'm not scaring anyone, but of course you will go through it once in your life, because we all feel low. So, but just remember that you have to confront yourself. You have to confront yourself on what is there inside that is not well, that is not going nice, that is not going in a proper way that than it should be. And then, you know, ask yourself only, how can it be better? How can it be improved? How can you feel, again alive by it? So confronting is very important, and always have a holistic approach in life. Always, have a wide spectrum. Always feel, always listen a lot, because when you listen, you start to get to know so many point of views, and it just helps you, just makes you a better person. And after all, that is what all we are coming to school to be a better person, to be a better individual for our society. So I just hope you all liked whatever I spoke to you about. And to be very honest, I'm telling, I'm not a certified person to speak upon this. So just do not think as if this might be wrong, this might be correct, or stuff like that. Do not judge me, because I just came here to share my experience and my journey with all of you of how I dealt with it, of my experience. That's all. Thank you very much. And yes, thank you.
Yeah, students, if you want to ask some questions from Palak, then you can ask. If anybody wants to ask something.
Yes, ma'am, there are some
There
questions
is a question, a very long question.
from Augusta. It's to Palak ma'am. Ma'am, how did you come to know that you are suffering from depression instead of anxiety disorder? Anxiety, though, is a part of it, but depression is more than it. We don't even have energy to carry our own body.
Okay, it's a nice question though, and so I'll try to answer it as much as I can, because I'm not sure if I can just give you the correct answer about it. See, I know what is anxiety disorder and I know what is depression. See, I got to know that I was facing through depression because anxiety disorder is something which is also related to the mental instability going on inside you. Of course, yes, but I was not going through this phase in my life for maybe very short span of time. Anxiety disorder is something which you face, like I'm facing it right now, for 10 to 15 minutes, I'm feeling anxious. I do not know what am I doing. And then the next minute, you are all right. You do not have, you feel as if I had nothing. I was all right. But depression is something that if I'm facing, if I'm facing a problem in contemplating my own thoughts, in understanding what am I supposed to do, even this moment, you will continue to have it for a very long time unless and until you actually face it and you actually ask yourself that whatever you are doing, whatever you are thinking is of what sort, is uh, how are you supposed to deal with it. Anxiety is something which is not for a continuing period of time. It is something which you have 1 minute and you do not have the other minute. But depression is something which prolongs. It stays on until and unless you confront yourself, you make yourself understand that all is well, everything will be fine. And depression is not something which you know it doesn't reduce very easily. Like today I am crying, next day I'm not crying, I'm happy. That is not depression. Depression is that if today you're not feeling well, tomorrow also you might not be feeling well, and maybe the next day and maybe a month after that also. That is depression, which it just prolongs. It makes you you know it disrupts and it just spoils your entire system. Your inner consciousness is hampered. You do not have any ability to think, to process your thoughts. You feel helpless. So that is how I got to know, and that I'm facing through depression and not anxiety disorder. Because even now, when I get to know that I have this problem, and I just sometimes feel that way. I just lose myself for some time. But then again, you have to remind yourself that you have to get up, you have to face it, because after all, it is your body that is being affected by it, and you do not want that. So yes, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, for the answer. The next question is again from Agastya. That is, there are highs and lows in depression. In highs, we feel happy, and in lows, we feel useless. How to treat bipolar people?
Okay, I'll stop you right there. See, I have no, it's a nice question, but I am, again, I said in the very start, I'm not a certified person. I do not know so much in depth about it. So, see, highs and lows, of course, you feel in depression. Uh, you feel someday you are okay, you are processing it, you can do it. But the other moment you feel that no, it's slipping out of my hands, something is going wrong, I cannot do it. So this happens. This happened with me also. There were days I felt like, yes, I can do it, I have that in me, I will be able to face it, I will be able to uh, think from a more better mind today. But just an hour later, I just slip into it again, and I feel no, I cannot do it, I give up, I quit. So according to me, I felt like this, but I'm not sure if that is answering your question. So yes.
Agastya has another question. Ma'am, my last question. Are you taking any medical help right now?
No, I'm not. I'm not. Yes, I'm not. I was, when I told about this to a lot of people, they told me to go through therapy and stuff, but no, I'm not going to. It's your choice. If you think you can do it with the support of your family, your friends, your loved ones, and just by yourself, then you can do it. And there's a live example of that in front of you. I did it. I knew I had to go over it. I knew I had to pass, and I had to get through this phase very, very strongly, not just for the sake of going through, for the sake of learning also from it as an experience. So it is not something that I'm ashamed of. That is why I do not take medical help. No, it's not like that. But I feel my depression is not of such advanced stage that I need medical help. I'm not, there are cases where you obviously need medical help when even your friends and family do not work. But since in my case, I get a lot of positive vibes, I feel very happy when I'm around all of them. So I just get through it. So no, I'm not going through any medical help.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank
So there is feedback from Kritika Khanna. She is saying that I just want to say that I understand that this may be a sensitive topic, but I really think that you're a very strong person and an incredible person. Thank you for trusting us and talking to us.
Thank you very much. And I'm very happy that you think about this session in this way, because I was pretty nervous too before this session of how am I going to interact with all of you, because I've not done this ever before. But I'm really happy that my journey, uh, uh, if it inspired you in any way. Yes. Thank you.
Augusta also has some feedback. He wants to say that you will definitely come out of this, and thank you for talking with us.
Thank you. Thank you.
So now we would like to end the session. Thank you, ma'am, for the stimulating speech, which was indeed a revelation for all of us. I'm sure everyone must be amazed to know more about this topic.
Our heartfelt gratitude to our founder and CEO, Mrs. Preeti Agarwal, for initiating such talks, which kindles in us the curiosity and deepens our knowledge.
We convey our gratitude to our speaker, Ms. Palak Gupta, for the dynamic talk.
Thank you so much, everyone, to be a part of this BHIS Council Chronicles.
We will meet again tomorrow on 10th January 2020 at the same time with another guest speaker, Ms. Gulnar Kaur Dringa.
Thank you.
Thank you.